Good evening, students. I hope you are all doing well. Children, we have been doing composition writing for quite some time. So, today, in the interest of many students who wanted to do literature, let us take up not a chapter but one of the projects. They want to do project. So, because in ICSE you get project, no, that is for internal assessment. So, one of the projects that I have selected today for you is character of Portia. The project question is Portia stands out as William Shakespeare's multifaceted heroine in the play The Merchant of Venice. Justify this position through the role play of an obedient daughter, modest and dutiful wife, an excellent orator, and doctor of law. So the question contains four aspects. First is obedient daughter, second is modest and dutiful wife, third is an excellent orator, and fourth is daughter of law. So let us begin by giving a good introduction. Introduction should be very catchy, and same way the conclusion. And you have to, when you are discussing these four aspects of her character, then you have to give a heading, separate heading for each, underline it, so that the examiner knows that you have done full justice to the question on the project. So, the introduction. William Shakespeare has created Portia as a multifaceted heroine in the play The Merchant of Venice. Portia is the female protagonist of the play. Portia has not only the outer beauty but also the beauty of her character and thought. She possesses sharp intellect and understanding. She is human, as is evident when she speaks to Nerissa. She says, I am a weary of this world. Because, she has suitors who line up to win her, and she gets little disappointed, little dejected that she is not getting any of her choice, and nobody is good enough to win her or to choose the right casket. Now, the first aspect of the project or of Portia's character is obedient daughter. Yes. However, being a dutiful daughter, Portia does not undermine her father's will. Though she complains about the restrictions imposed by her father's will, saying, so is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. The will of her father prevents her from choosing the person of her choice and also rejecting the one she does not like to marry. Like an obedient daughter, she will never marry until someone chooses the right casket and wins her. So she says, if I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana. Now, modest and dutiful wife. Shakespeare has done justice to womanhood in the character of Portia. She is an ideal woman who is strong, wise, witty, capable, tender, devoted, generous, efficient, respectful, honest, and the list continues. And by the end of the play, we find her that she is truly heroic. When Bassanio passes the test of caskets and wins Portia as his wife, Portia immediately agrees to divest all her riches, property, and power over to him in order to be his loving and dutiful wife. She says, as from her lord, her governor, her king, myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. Portia is modest enough to say that she has no accomplishments and no experience to boast of, but she is happy that she is not old and rigid, that she cannot learn. She is happier still that she has the aptitude to learn. She is pleased to surrender herself to Bassanio to be guarded by him. She values relationship with the person whom she loves. Though Portia, an independent and liberated young woman, offers no challenge to the social order and accepts the position of a subordinate wife, it is her modesty which makes her surrender completely to Bassanio. She says, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. Like a dutiful wife, when she sees Bassanio's anguish after receiving a letter about Antonio's losses, Portia takes the situation in her control. Without having a second thought about her wedded life, she gives Bassanio money and sends him to Venice to rescue Antonio. Without even meeting Antonio, she resolves to disguise herself as a lawyer and leaves for Venice, not only to rescue Antonio but also to relieve her husband of anxiety and predicament that he is going through. Portia surrenders herself to her husband Bassanio because she has the tenderness, the delicacy, and humility of a devoted wife. Now we come to the third aspect of her character, that she is an excellent orator. Right? Portia is an excellent orator, no doubt. Portia's speech on the quality of mercy overshadows all rhetorics. Portia is the lady rhetoric of Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. Her speech of mercy is logical, ethical, and emotional. The readers get enthralled completely by its powerful impact of logic, ethics, and emotions. The way she elocutes her speech spellbinds everyone except Shylock in the court. Portia speaks eloquently about mercy. She says, it droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesses him that gives and him that takes. Then, even in her informal and casual speeches, Portia shows her rhetoric blended with humor. When she is, especially when she is talking or commenting on those suitors who had come to win her by choosing the right casket. Her determination of character is seen in the lines, if to do were as easy to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. We recall too the humorous way she imagines herself dressing like a man and aping the mannerisms of all the men she has observed in her short life. She bets Nerissa that she can outman any man when it comes to swaggering and playing the macho bit. I have within my mind 1,000 new tricks of these bragging jacks which I will practice. She says, the trial scene brings into prominence Portia's intellectual quality, her ready wit, clear vision, her persuasive eloquence, dignity, and courtesy that was never there in any other lawyer. She puts all her persuasive eloquence through her speech on the quality of mercy, but all her appeals fall flat on the deaf ears of Shylock. Now, the fourth aspect of her character is that she is Doctor of Laws. When Portia hears about Antonio's trouble, she first tells Bassanio and his friends to go to the court and then later goes with Nerissa and they both dressed up as lawyers go to the court of Venice. They go with a fake letter from Dr. Bellario saying that he can't come today because he is sick. Portia, dressed as a learned doctor of laws with the name Balthazar, uses her clever wit to save Antonio. She scrutinizes the bond. The words are a pound of flesh, but she analyzes the bond and quality of it and quickly finds out that there is no blood written. So she uses that as an advantage against Shylock and wins the case. The dispute between Shylock, the Jew, and Antonio that the Duke was unable to resolve was very cleverly and confidently resolved by Portia by interpreting the bond in the letter and not the spirit of the law. As Shylock himself insisted on it, she warned Shylock that the bond did not allow him to shed a single drop of blood while cutting a pound of flesh, sorry, thus defeating Shylock with his own weapon. Portia could save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Portia's shrewd interpretation of law really saved Antonio. She said to Shylock when he was going to cut the flesh, a pound of flesh from Antonio's body, what did she say? She said, according to bond, you have full right to take the flesh, but without shedding even a single drop of blood. Otherwise, all your wealth will be confiscated by the state. And she leaves Shylock hapless. He recoils and asks for mercy, though he is pardoned by the Duke, but conditionally. Thus, we can say that it is the skill, virtue, and intelligence of Portia which saved the life of Antonio and taught a lesson to Shylock. Then we can conclude this project by saying Portia has a high position in the gallery of Shakespeare's heroines. She is a lady with a cheerful and optimistic disposition. She has beauty, brains, and scintillating wit, which she shows in the very beginning and then continues to show till the very end of the play. She is determined to carry out the terms of her late father's will and to marry a man on the basis of the conditions laid in the will. Although Portia is a woman with a powerful intellect and extraordinary powers, she remains a woman at heart with a lot of modesty, humility, and compassion. For all these reasons, one of the critics describes Portia as the queen of the play and as the muse of wisdom and love. So that's all. And if you like this video, please share, subscribe, and comment on it. Okay, children? Thank you. Bye bye.